Force password reset. So here, for your selection of user groups, you can force them to reset their password periodically. And you can have different periods for different user groups. So users will be forced to reset their passwords after their next login. This is a paid one. I've not tested, but it can be interesting. Yet another paid one by the same person, Michel. This task scheduler helps to manage inactive users. So it allows, I think, to delete all inactive users after some time or whatever. Just go to the full description here on the Joomla accessions directory. Another one by Claudia, who shared that at the Joomla camp in Germany. She has written, it's a similar case to the one I had with my external JSON, allowing me to fetch data to feed my custom fields. Here's a very similar use case. And so she built her own API tool to feed her Joomla articles of a given category based on an external database, a job board or something like that. And also, I had a chat with a certain Oliver at Joomla Camp. It was very useful to be there and very nice as well. During the lunch came the idea to have a task scheduler allowing to run any query, because sometimes you want to run a query in your database. A good example, well, of course, you can kill your website, but just like when you have access to the backend, you can also kill your website if you delete all articles or if you change your global configuration or whatever. But so of course you have to be cautious with such a thing like executing a query. But for example, you could write a query. We have all had this issue where this problem where there were authors writing articles, and at some points, some of those authors were deleted on the websites, but they had written articles. So when you edit those articles, you have a warning that, and you cannot save that article because it was written by user 123 who does not exist anymore on the website. So sometimes what you would like to do until it comes into core, something similar, but would be to say, hey, Joomla, please go through all the articles. And maybe I should restart explaining this one. So sometimes you have orphan articles, meaning that the user who created those articles has been deleted, so that when you edit those articles, actually you have a warning message saying the author does not exist anymore, and you cannot save it unless you change the author manually, which is quite cumbersome for a big website. So you could imagine a query where you say, okay, database, please, for all articles where the author does not exist anymore, replace the ID of the author by, for example. So this would be a kind of universal schedule task because you could run any query on your database. So do plenty of crazy making your site, right? You're able for queries, just like when you run them in PHP MyAdmin, for example. So these are already 11 scheduled tasks by third parties, and also own scheduled tasks. I was showing it earlier. For example, Akiba Backup of any other extension providing, tell me. And the idea is that native schedule task, I found about more than 10 third-party schedule tasks. And if you have any need, any idea the thing is that you could create your own or hire somebody to develop your own. So there are plenty of possible ideas, and some were mentioned in the Joomla community magazine. Like you could connect your website with Zapier or Make and do certain stuff, or you could modify some custom fields values based on some conditions, like maybe copy paste some custom field values from another field or some from external data, whatever. Uh, reset the passwords. Yeah, now it's there. We've just seen it. Uh, do some database work. Check or notify for updates. Do checks for PHP version or whatever. Interact with your newsletter extension. Interact with your e-commerce extensions. Send push notifications or send text messages or whatever you can imagine, we can do it with a scheduled task.